This is our tiny house here in Escalante Village in Durango, Colorado.
Our tiny house is 170 square feet. It is 24 feet long and 8.5 feet wide.
We designed it and had it built in Illinois and traveled in it for 10,000 miles.
And our tiny house has all steel siding. We did want the cedar in the middle to kind of add a little bit of pop to it. When we chose a really bright door color, also for some character.
So this is our entryway. And we have a nice separated space for our living room down here. So we made this so that we could have some good space for us to have our separate zones in our tiny house. Made it a little bit cozier instead of great room style. And there's room for the dog. Come on, Luna. Come on. Luna didn't travel with us. We used to have record crates where her crate is now, but we wouldn't change that for anything. But it's a nice area for us to be able to sit back and relax, listen to music, watch movies. One of the great things about being here in Durango is out our window. We have a beautiful view of the Purple Cliffs. And yeah, it's hard to go wrong with that. A little bit of cliffs, a little bit of our garden outside. Cozy love seat that all three of us do fit on when Luna isn't taking up most of it.
Our living room's also our closet. So we have a custom built wardrobe here that actually Noah built for us. So we have drawers from IKEA that slide in. They're actually twice as long as your typical, 13 by 13 cube. So we actually have quite a bit of storage down here. We each get 4, and then we have all this hanging space up here. And behind there, what it conceals is actually our solar system. So we have solar panels on the roof, and then we have a giant solar battery behind here that we can access through the wardrobe. This level is actually right on the trailer bed, so it's the lowest level of the house. The rest of the house is actually up a couple of steps on a higher level for the kitchen and bathroom, which we'll show you next.
So you can see the steps, but that's not just for fun. We actually did that for a real purpose. So since we wanted to be able to travel and off-grid in our tiny house, right under here we have an 80-gallon fresh water tank. We have some storage panels underneath that work as pantry and miscellaneous storage. And then we also have the other utilities, our water heater, our water pump, and our gray tank are all underneath the floor.
So over here we have our custom-made breakfast bar that actually Noah put together for us. Had it installed as both our place to eat all of our meals, as well as our office, miscellaneous, just extra place to sit. It's kind of multi-purpose. And I joke that one of my favorite things about living in a tiny house is that you can actually sit here, mess with the stove. So if I've got, water boiling, I can quickly turn it off. It's one of the advantages of a tiny house. Everything's immediately accessible.
This is the kitchen, and I do love to cook, so we had to have a kitchen that works for us. So our refrigerator is kind of like a 3/4 size fridge. We have some decent cabinet space, kind of a standard 4-burner stove. Then we have our sink. It's a fairly deep sink, no dishwasher. Over here, of course, some prep area on the butcher block. Below is kind of our catch-all pantry. Some more cabinet space, and everything is dual purpose. So should I open this and show the mess? But it's food, it's coffee stuff, it's dishes, it's kind of anything and everything because, of course, there's limited space.
And back here is the bathroom. We actually have a pretty large shower, 2 feet by 4 feet. It's bigger than the one we had in Chicago in our condo. And then we have your basic amenities. We have a low water toilet and a sink, our little medicine cabinet here where we can store stuff. And then we also installed another storage unit here to be both a towel rack and additional storage. And finally, we have a pocket door to save on space, necessary in any good tiny home, so that we can maximize the bathroom space.
All right, and then we have our bedroom up here. Of course, you can also see we have a mini split heater and AC, and it works pretty well. We have the fans also because that helps to actually push that air around. One of the things we really found is in the winter, it's hard to get the heat, of course, to go down into the living room. So we do use a small space heater down there. The ladder is a little bit shorter than a typical one, so it's slightly less terrifying. We were really specific about wanting to make sure that there was enough height in the living room for me being 6'1", so that I didn't bang my head, but also so that we could sit up in bed and be able to read. and can actually sit up in the loft without usually hitting my head. All right, now we're in the loft bedroom. We have a queen size bed, memory foam mattress that's actually really pretty comfortable. Our nightstands are some floating shelves that I made for us with little depressions to keep things in place when we were traveling. And then we just used bins on either side to keep extra stuff in them. Made a nice decorative headboard so that we had a little bit of art and a little bit of something from the wood shop while we were traveling. I think one of the other great things is putting these lamps up here so that we don't always have to be using the big overhead lights. So those work as good reading lights and just a little bit mellow lights for the evening, and they stay on the wall when we're traveling.